leading the charge to make the 2024 Broker Carrier Summit possible, and we are so excited to have their support. In case you haven't heard, TAFS offers much more than freight factoring. It provides a comprehensive support system for trucking companies of all sizes, specializing in fast and efficient invoice factoring with the ability to pay carriers in as little as 1 hour. And TAFS services go well beyond factoring, offering a fuel card that unlocks major fuel discounts, flexible business loans that are designed to cater to the distinct needs of a carrier's operations, a dedicated, responsive client experience team, and much more. Blackbox Logistics is a 3PL freight brokerage based out of Birmingham. Alabama Blackbox Logistics was formed in 2020 by 3 friends, Logan Dyer, William Graves, and Will Hopkins, in a basement office with the goal of bringing transparency around the clock communication and hassle-free customer experience to the table. LoadBase is a logistics software solution that simplifies the process of tracking carriers. Multi-service fuel card, the industry's first fuel card, was created by an over-the-road truck driver in 1978 to offer a safe, simple, and cost-effective way to handle fuel and trucking expenses. Initially, it addressed safety concerns of carrying cash on the road. Today, it combats advanced fraud with best-in-class technical and personal support. Sales-CRM is built for freight broker and agent sales teams. Manage your shipper prospecting and follow-ups. Organize your carriers in the lanes they run. HD Ships is a leading logistics provider specializing in sustainable and tech-driven freight solutions. With hubs in Reno, Phoenix, and London, we deliver comprehensive services, including full truckload, expedited cross-border, and intermodal freight. Leveraging proprietary technology, we offer 24/7 tracking, real-time visibility, and advanced automation to ensure safe, compliant, and efficient transportation. Our commitment to sustainability enables clients to offset emissions through carbon credits, aligning logistics with environmental goals. At HD Ships, we prioritize transparency, reliability, and exceptional customer service, empowering clients to achieve seamless, sustainable logistics solutions worldwide.
All right, I think we're live. I think we figured this out.
That is quite the intro.
Yeah, you probably haven't seen the show since we did did the video with Sales Dash. Did you see your part in there?
Yeah, I gotta get you guys an updated logo. But I
right.
also Renz has reached out to me, Will's reached out to me, and I've not got them anything back. So some of that's on me. But no, that's some good stuff.
If anyone didn't see my post, Will be back with us in January. He's got some health stuff. So Josh generously one of our sponsors, is going to be co-hosting for the next week. We got the boys on the Logistics Lounge today backstage. We'll add them in a second. Just to run down our sponsors, we greatly appreciate them. Multi-service fuel card, been around since 1978. One of the oldest fuel cards out there, if not the oldest. Great rates. If you're a broker, you can have a fuel card through them as well. Black Box Logistics, Will's company, HD Ships, where I recruit agents for. Loadbase, great tracking software. Will and I have seen his product. Stan used to be a dispatcher. Go hit up Stan if you're looking for tracking services. Since we have Josh here, normally me or Will would talk about Sales Dash, but maybe Josh wants to touch on Sales Dash.
Yeah, we're proud sponsor number 1, baby. So at Sales Dash, we're just a CRM for freight brokerages, freight agencies, where you can manage your shipper leads. And we also have a carrier side to the CRM where you can organize your carrier lane preferences. So proud sponsor of the pod, and good to be here as a substitute co-host.
Okay, good stuff. And our banner sponsor, I have to figure out, usually Will adds the banner of Tafts to go across the main screen. So Tafts, Ryan, Rob, if you guys are watching, I'm gonna have to figure that out in the next show, how to do that. But we greatly appreciate you guys as sponsors. Top 10 factoring company, based in Kansas City. Great rates, great response times. They're one of the few factoring companies you can have someone at 11:30 at night answer the phone. Just great people all together. But yeah, we're looking forward to having Rob and Hunter on the show today. Unless you got anything else, Josh, I'll add him on and we'll get going.
No, let's get him up here.
All right, let's do it. What's happening, guys?
Yo.
What's up, fellas?
How did I do with the technology? Was it on a scale of 1 to 10? How bad of a failure was it?
You did okay. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah, so like a 5. But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. I mean, I think a lot of people probably watching know who you guys are, but you guys want to maybe just kind of give an intro to the audience.
Go on, Pedro.
Hey, I mean, I don't know, Pedro Potato here, broker by trade. I do a podcast just because we can, and I'm just here hanging out. That's all, man. That's all. Just here hanging out. Matt said that we were finally up to the level that we could come on his podcast. So we were like, we're not worthy, bro. We're not, you know what I mean? So
wow.
yeah, I'm just here. That's all.
Absolutely. Well, my name's Hunter Woodfin, also known as the Freight Hound here in the lounge. I work for PCT Logistics. We specialize in temperature controlled LTL and consolidation, specialize in the fine wine industry. Also do beer and spirits and anything from plants to pharmaceuticals, and been in the industry for about 7 years now. Started off as a broker, not a broker now. But yeah, kind of done it all. Been around the world and seen a few things. Met Rob, actually traveling across the world. Started up our alpaca farm, where we came up with the dream for the Logistics Lounge, and here we are today.
How did that start? You said you were traveling and you met Rob, or how did that? I've heard this story before, but I forgot. How did you guys get the idea to start the lounge? How kind of went into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was about 10 years back. I was sailing across the Pacific and needed a spot to take a break and restock, do some work on the boat, and actually saw Rob there in Guam, sailing from Asia to the Americas, and he was running an alpaca farm, and we kind of hit it off there. And he said, "Dude, I love logistics. I want to do this." So we sold the alpaca farm for 30 coconuts and a boat. And so we had 2 boats, made it back to America, started up the lounge, and here we are today. So,
wow.
But really, yeah, man, me and Rob met last summer. I was actually soliciting him for some business when I was working in the international space. Shut up, Bill. Yeah, solicited him on some business, and I'd known him for a few years, and so we kind of started chit-chatting up, just catching up, and he was like, "Man, I'll just see all these shows on LinkedIn, and I want to watch them, I want to be informed, and I kind of want to do this own thing, like my own thing, and kind of solidify ourselves in this space." So went to eat some Mexican food that night with my mom, and I was on ChatGPT and came up with the name Logistics Lounge. A week later, August 1st, we did our first show. I was 15 minutes late, and those were the dumpster fire days. And yeah, it's been a journey, man. It's been a journey.
You guys are
That's
pretty
awesome. How
teched
long?
out. Or go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
I wasn't saying nothing.
No, I was going to ask him how long they've been running the show for so far.
Yeah, so August 1st of 2023 was our first show. So about a year and a half now.
That's awesome, man. I know I met you. Hunter, are you out of Nashville?
I am, yeah. We met at that
Okay.
bar in Brentwood, I believe, for the
Yeah,
Nashville
the
Transportation Club. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I think I've still got my sticker and everything.
There you go.
I asked Hunter before the show. I was like, you know Josh, right? Because you guys are in Nashville, and he thought you guys might have met too. So Nashville's like a mini hub for transportation.
Yeah, definitely for the tech side of things. You know, we're not quite Chattanooga in the carrier side of life, but we got a good little crowd here, man. It's awesome to see so many people out of Tennessee doing what we do.
Big fan of the lounge, Rob and Hunter from Bill. Bill, thanks for.
We're a big fan of you, Bill.
Sage gave me a bad on my technology, so at least you gave me
That's a good bad, right? Bad to the bone.
Yeah, he meant like bad, dude. It was bad, bro. Yeah. Bad, but in a good way.
So what about you, Pedro? For people who don't know you, what's I mean, we kind of got the backstory of the lounge, but yeah, kind of give an intro to the audience about yourself.
Well, my name's Robert Peterson. Everybody calls me Pedro Potato. That is my moniker. And I've been in logistics 2025. It'll be 19 years, January of 2025. So the end of January 2025. I started in the military, was an 88 Mike, a truck driver, and had aspirations of becoming a warrant officer, but I got hurt and got out of the Army, and it was like, man, I'll just go get my CDL and be a truck driver. And it was too easy at that time because all the companies, wanted to hire veterans and stuff because it was the height of the war. And so I drove for 10 years and reached what I felt was the pinnacle of being a driver. I was making my best year. I made $90,000 as a company driver back in like the early 2010s, and there was no place paying better. And I was like, oh, I'll go get a degree and go sit in the office and make $100,000. Yeah, that didn't happen. I did get the degree, and I did go sit in the office and do the shipper stuff and the other things, but it wasn't $100,000. And so, yeah, man. And COVID came around, and I was kind of just done with driving again because I went back to driving because I didn't like the office stuff, and I took like a 30% pay cut. Matt, you know exactly how that feels when you went over to that shipper side, man. You know what I mean? How it feels to take that pay cut.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't a driver, but like you get it. You're like, oh, they make money. No, they don't. So
I think I made less than what drivers make on my brief time as a shipper. And it's probably similar to drivers. I mean, you guys know this, but I mean, drivers have a tough job away from their families, all that, and not to make a lot of money. And shipper job was nowhere near as difficult as being a driver, but it was, I would say in some ways, was more difficult than being a broker, actually, in several ways.
Oh, no, I enjoyed being a driver, man. I did. Out of every job that I've done in logistics, being a driver has definitely been my favorite. And I can't complain, man. I'm not one of those drivers. I mean, yeah, I had some issues and stuff, but I don't know. I loved it, dude. I mean, I really did. I hate the office side, more days than I hated the driver side. You know what I mean? So, but hey, it's yeah. And now here I am doing the brokering thing, man. I got into it during COVID, but not why everyone else did. I had a friend that, I'm gonna say a mutual friend between friends that had got some money injected into his company because he already owned a truck company and they were looking to expand and had overflow freight. He's like, hey man, I want to open a brokerage. Will you kind of help me get this going? I was like, yeah, sure. And then one of the partners screwed the other partners, and I was fortunate enough that I was friends with my boss that is still my boss to this day. And yeah, so I've been doing it 3.5 years in the same place. I like it, bro.
Time flies. Time flies.
It does.
I gotta ask you. I saw that. I actually learned about them on your show, and I see it in your background. Freight Ninja Truck Parking Club. I watched that show of your guys. They seemed like really cool guys. And what are your guys' kind of thoughts? I keep seeing, I don't know if you guys are seeing it on LinkedIn more often, about truck parking in general being kind of a hot topic. And obviously you guys are a very driver centric show. You guys know more drivers than I do. What are your guys' kind of thoughts on it? From what I read, iNinja seems like a great up and coming company.
Yeah. So they're just kind of doing it different. They're fully asset based. They own every single lot that they own. They're very strategic in their placements of their lots. So, very high crime ridden areas. So they're out of Chicago. So obviously we all know Chicago, huge crime rings out there. So they're picking up big in Memphis, like St. Louis, and they really do bring some great opportunities to the table. And it's not necessarily short-term parking, like some of these other people that we see out there. Truck Parking Club's a great friend of ours, but they're more last minute, on the spot. I need a place to park, which is great. But with Freight Ninja, they offer overflow parking for mega fleets, mega carriers, trailer storage. They have some lots that have CDL schools on there. They have maintenance shops on some of their lots, and it's fully fully lit up. Have security, 24/7 customer service access. So they're just kind of doing it different, a different approach. They're not like anybody else that I've seen doing it. So really appreciate them. Pedro, I'm sure you got some more to add on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just say paid truck parking. It's here to stay, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
No matter how much you complain about it or make a big deal or go after people, it's here to stay. It's been here for a while. Drivers know this. But I do have my beliefs on it, in the sense that, like, it does suck. I had to pay for parking when I was a driver. Fortunately, I was only a company driver, and I was a hardcore company driver. Like, you paid me back for everything. If I bought a blinker bolt for 50 cents, you better give me my 50 cents. So I always got reimbursed for it, and I still believe that to this day. A company driver, you should have to pay for it. Owner operators, it does suck, but I mean, and I know this isn't direct cash back in your pocket, but it is a tax write-off at the end of the year. You know what I mean? And places like truck Freight Ninja, like Hunter said, are doing it differently, and their thing is more for that long-term customer, and not just for the person that parks in the same place every night. Like, the big thing that we're missing with this truck parking is truck parking along routes and common traveled lanes. And a lot of carriers are really liking that. They're trying to get that dedicated freight. That's the mother load, right? Getting them dedicated, consistent stuff. And that's where even they come into that space, man, is, they can provide you a truck parking space in 3 different places if that's what you need. Home, where the shipper may be, so you can park overnight, and then where the receiver may be overnight, and then back home. And they give you a deal on that. You know what I mean? And so they do stuff differently, but it's here to stay, man. That's just the way it is. And the government is not going to solve it. They've already proven that. When there's all this money they're giving, what are they doing? They're building fucking rest areas. Drivers don't want rest areas. That's not what they want. They don't want just a place. See, that's the thing with the government, is they looking at, just a place to park the truck. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter. And on the side of the highway, and they offer a vending machine. Like, drivers want access to stuff. They want access to be able to have food delivered, maybe, or maybe there's a grocery store on the way to the truck parking site that they can stop at, or I mean, funny thing, all these things with Freight Ninja, I highlight this when I do advertisements. I'm like, look, dude, right down the street from this place, there's a hospital, there's a Publix, there's a Sam's Club, there's a Chili's, there's an Applebee's, there's all these things around this place that add benefit to you paying for this and parking there. And the government doesn't look at it that way. They just want to put a place where a truck can park, and look at the amount of money they're spending. I don't quote me on the terms, but what is it, like $1 million a parking spot or something like that, or $750,000? Are you kidding me? $750,000 per parking spot to throw some concrete down on the side of a highway somewhere. You've got to be joking.
No light, no bathrooms, nothing, just a dumpster.
Yeah, they're not, and then they're saying, oh, well, we'll give subsidies to private entity. No, you need to give it all to the private entity. You need to give it all to them. And that includes truck stops. give them truck stops some of that money to buy the land that surrounds them to add more truck parking. You think they're not going to jump at that idea because there's just more people that could come on their lot that could come into place and spend money, you know, and people like Freight Ninja, you know what I mean? Same thing, they can buy surrounding land and expand the places or buy more places. I'm not, I don't ever get political, and this is a political thing, but it's one of my favorite things in life. The Gipper, the great communicator Ronald Reagan, said it best: there is nothing the government can do that private sector cannot do better.
It's a good summary. Good summary. What are you guys' thoughts, as long as we're talking about truck driving? I think you guys said it well on truck parking. Another big thing I saw this week. Curious Josh's thoughts on this too, but the FMSCA proposing a new rule for broker transparency, which I've been seeing all over my Twitter feed and LinkedIn. What have you guys been hearing? You guys obviously have a very trucker oriented as well as broker, but you have a good following of truckers. What are you guys kind of hearing on that, or what are your guys' kind of thoughts on the new FMSCA proposal?
Yeah, I mean, the law's always been there where if you want to see the broker's rate, you can see that rate. However, I have heard that there are some red lines, small fine print down there that's like, we're not going to do freight with you. We're not going to do business with you unless you sign this contract, which states you cannot see our rate. However, I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to, as a driver, knowing your bottom dollar, knowing what rate you need per mile. Don't take the cheap freight just because you need it. And I understand there's so many more variables coming into play now, especially with the freight fraud. If you don't have any, inspections, or your authority is only 3 months old, well, yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. But, one of our buddies, he's on all social medias as Millennial Trucker. Well, this dude went to Broker Carrier Summit, met 5 brokers face to face, and he's been running his own authority day one for, I think about 2 years now, and he hasn't had any issues. But I mean, when it comes down to broker transparency, like, you can see that rate, but just because you see that rate doesn't mean the broker's going to give you that money. But sales as a broker, man, there's so much in the background that goes on, like, that drivers don't see. And same with the drivers. And I'm not defending either side. I just don't think that that's going to be the answer, because, you bring out this transparency. Well, what's going to happen after that?
100%.
What difference is it going to make except for more conflict?
Like, it would be kind of weird if that happened on, like, Josh being a tech provider. If someone came up at brokers to Josh and be like, hey, you're charging $39 or whatever it is per month. I want to see exactly what the profit is that you're making, after all of your, tech fees and your engineer fees and your marketing fees and everything like that. That'd be kind of weird in the tech industry if you started seeing that.
Yeah. And I mean, like the ladies we talked to last night from T5 Transit, like, it really just comes to knowing your business. Like, drivers see their truck as just a truck, but really in the grand scheme of things, that's your business. That truck is your office. Like, that's your money maker. So, like, just as we as brokers or recruiters or salesmen for any technology, like, we all have to have our finances in line. You got to be prepared for the unexpected. So, sure. I mean, I've always been transparent with my carriers. Like, hey, this is what I'm making, especially if it's tight margins. Like, hey, dude, like, here's what's going on. I need to make this much. I need to make this much, and it meets in the middle. But you see some people like, I mean, John Rogers, dude, he's out there busting ass, and, like, he knows his business better than anybody else, and his carriers love him, knowing that he makes this money. But that's the difference. Like, working with people that know what they're doing makes your life way easier. If you're making $10,000 and I'm making $3,000 on a load, that's cool with me. As long as my bottom dollar is paid for and I don't have to deal with any issues at the receiver, the shipper, like, on the road. Like, there's so many variables that go into it. Like, I mean, you look at the average rates, man. Like, average margins right now, 13%, maybe, 8% on a good day. Like, if it comes to fruition, like, I don't think anything will change.
I'd be surprised if it came to fruition, because, I mean, I think, like, Matt, I think you were bringing it up, just I guess knowing other people's margins, or trying to get into the the deep lines of their business in other industries. Like, I just don't know other industries that really do that, and I don't pay attention. I guess I don't, like, read too deep. I mean, I've seen a lot of broker transparency talk, and I just kind of see it as, like, the main post for what people are posting out there. But I guess my question is just, like there's obviously a reason and a value that brokers provide, and that's the reason why people go to them, right? Whether it's shippers or whether it's carriers and whatnot. So, but if you still have the capability to do what they're doing, I feel like it always comes back to the question of then why not then put in some of the work then to reach out to the shippers directly and get some of your own direct freight, right? I feel like that's just the biggest question. If there's nothing that's stopping you from doing that, then definitely go out there and do it. But it from being a broker previously, I mean, there's just obviously a lot of challenges, a lot of communication. There's a lot of work in going into a broker that a lot of people don't also want to do, right? And brokers can say that vice versa, like they may not want to drive the truck. So I feel like you got to just take that stuff into consideration. You get paid for doing the things that maybe you don't want to do.
I mean, look at carriers that use dispatch services. You think they're doing that for free? Hell no. Like,
No.
and most of the time those dispatchers are going to brokers, but a lot of carriers don't take the time. You know, they don't want to go on DAT, or if they don't have the time, like that's the part of business cost. You know, like,
Yeah.
and if it's not working for you, take a step back. Shut the truck down. Don't start the truck up if you're losing money. That makes zero sense. Like, if I had $20 in my name and I was like, I'm going to drive to Chicago today, I wouldn't make it to Chicago, you know, but that'd be foolish. I'm going to sit here and figure out a way to, you know, make it to that point. But it's, yeah, I don't think this transparency thing is going to work out any way that people think it's going to be. Like, it really comes down to like relationships, you know the areas you want to run, know what works best for you, and work off that. Nobody comes in this business and freaking makes $1 million the first year. Like, the
Yeah,
most
I don't think
successful
it's gonna
people
do
in here
any.
are actively working, growing. It's a slow process. But sorry to cut you off there,
Yeah.
Josh.
No, you're good, man. I didn't mean to cut in. I was just gonna say, I mean, I've seen so much conversation on it now that like all that time that people are investing online on social to just
All
complain
right.
about this nonstop, like you could be spending that to go build more relationships and to put yourself in a better situation. So it's becoming a distraction to your business because you're complaining about the situation when you got to control what you can control, man. And like, look, there's brokers that are shutting down. We're seeing a lot of that stuff, right? You know, so some of them obviously aren't doing well on the margin side. Everybody's got their own circumstances, but I feel like that's just part of the grind, part of the hustle. But if you're spending hours a day involved in this conversation, I honestly think you're hurting yourself more than you are helping.
This is a solution-based industry, not a problem-based
Mhm.
industry. I mean, there's problems. There's already problems out there. Like, don't create more.
You're not on X, are you, Josh? You probably don't even see half of it because a lot of the complaining about it happens more on X than I would say LinkedIn. Would you agree with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm on LinkedIn a little bit more than I'm on X. I'm on X, but I don't check it as often. Honestly, it's more like basketball stuff that I'm checking out when I'm when I'm over there. Yeah, I don't know. I've like changed up my social strategy just to kind of like I'm big on the distractions piece, man. Like I have one sticky note that's on my desk that says block out the noise, and I don't know, just the way that I look at stuff is just like a lot of this shit just becomes distractions and pulls you away from your business and what you can be doing to grow your stuff. And so at the end of the day, like the biggest thing for me is I work with brokerages, I work with some asset based companies on their CRM, and like I need to be putting more of my energy into that kind of stuff. And there's always going to be talk out there, but some of it can just be really distracting. And I've just like anybody else, I think found myself getting into some of the rabbit holes. And then I'm like, what in the world did I just spend that past 20-30 minutes doing, and how's that actually going to help with my current circumstance? So I don't know. Just try to drown out some of the noise.
100%. I'm not in a bathroom, Sage. See Columbia out the window here. I'm in a conference room.
Yeah, you're getting some hate on your audio in the comments.
Yeah, I know. I need to get a microphone. I'm not sure. I saw that as well. Is it pretty bad?
I just got a little echo there, but it doesn't sound shitty.
All right.
Yeah, no,
You're in Columbia, dude. You're fucking having a way better time than we are here. It's cold, dude.
Escaping the Minnesota weather for sure. You guys got some traveling coming up to more conferences?
You gotta try to hook up with old Juan Bania.
I'm not in the same city, but I was talking to him. If I do go down to how do you say it? Medellin. There's a couple of people I told if I come down there, we'll meet up. It's only like it's kind of weird in Colombia. Everything's an hour flight. It's not like the U.S., but you can go to any city in Colombia with like an hour flight.
What part of Colombia are you in?
I don't know what region it is. A place called Bucaramanga.
How close
He's
is
up
that
in
to
the pent. He's up
Bogota?
in the penthouse.
In the pen, yeah, it looks like it.
No, I'm in the office. I'm in an office building here, but yeah, Bucaramanga's in like kind of like the mountain area, but it's nice here. Not much to complain about. The weather is much better than Minnesota. Where are you guys? Any conferences or any travel coming up for the lounge?
Nothing planned until Matt's. I don't think there's anything really going on before then, but yeah, we got some big plans coming up for that show, and so really just focusing on that and building the show up for the next year. So we'll be taking a 2-week hiatus coming up, not next week, but the week after, up until the New Year. So if you know of any shows, holler at us. Love to go. How long are you going to be in Columbia, Matt?
To be determined. My sister's getting married in Minnesota in January. I don't know why in the world she picked Minnesota to get married in January in freezing weather, but I kind of have to go back for that. So sometime in January. I just don't know exactly when, but
Right on. Yeah, Matt's is the only one planned, and then right after that, I believe Broker Carrier Summit's going on in Kansas City. Pedro, is that correct? No,
India, isn't it?
Indiana.
Indianapolis.
Okay.
you guys gonna go back for that one? I'm planning on going back. That was fun.
Oh yeah, dude, that I will never miss one. That's probably my
Dude,
favorite show outside of Matt.
I would never miss a chance to mess with Dan Lindsay in person. Never.
Why is that?
Never. Just because he's a fun guy to fuck with. That's all. I like Dan. He's old Jarhead, man. He's old Marine. I like messing with Dan. He's good.
Yeah,
He's a good
and
guy.
especially you see them running around like, dude, show operation. I couldn't imagine running that show, especially them bootstrapping as much as they are. Like, dude, you cannot like catch him, Trey Griggs, even old Coleman, dude. Coleman's running around like it's a good time. But yeah, Dan's just constantly on the ball, so you got to throw him off his rockers every now and then.
Yeah, he's done a great job at that conference, though. I mean, from where they started to where they're at now. I mean, I don't know too much about the conference team, but pretty fast growth for a conference. And yeah, it was really well put together. I like the idea. I've not been to other conferences, but the idea of not having booths was kind of unique, and I think it really went over well with everybody.
Yeah, especially that first night, when they had I call it the speed dating, but it was the speed networking. Like, yeah, everybody's just in there, cut loose, have a couple drinks. I don't know what you do. You don't know what I do. And I mean, shit, I don't have the stack of cards, but I mean, probably good 40 people that first night just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
And, a lot of good things come out of it. But yeah, the booth thing, we were actually talking about that. Like, it's, you see a booth, you walk up, and both parties know, like, all right, I'm either going to try and sell you, or, it's just like not as organic as like, oh, hey, man, I see you're drinking a Miller, or, even you and me, Matt, standing outside having a smoke, like catching up, just little shit like that, just being in a social environment, like getting away, and it's not as forced. I really appreciate that side of it.
Hunter, did you guys do a show, like a live show while you guys were out there?
We did too. And one day, I don't know who planned that, but it was good. Yeah, we actually had Ken Riddle on, the director of the FMCSA, and then Danielle from My Carrier Portal. Dale Prax was on, and then we did another show. Pedro, who was on there? Or we weren't even on the show. We just did it live.
We weren't on the show because there wasn't enough seats. It was
Jeff.
It was Dale, Jeff, Danielle, and Steve Talamo. Of the Talamo.
Okay.
Bros.
Nice. Are you guys going to be doing one at Matt's?
We are.
Yes. Yeah, with Freight Ninja,
yeah.
bro. We are going to freaking, I don't know if I cussed on the show. We're going to freaking shut the poop down at Matt's, bro. We've got.
How was Matt's? Was it? It sounds like a fun show from everybody I've heard. Where is it exactly again?
It's in Louisville.
Okay.
Kentucky.
In March or February?
Into March. It's like usually the last weekend in March.
Yep.
Okay.
It's great, man. Like it's just a great place, man. Like, dude, it's predominantly supposed to be a truck show, but so many people come that like it doesn't matter what you do. If you're in logistics, go to Matt's because everyone freaking goes there. Everybody. I mean, it was absolutely crazy, man. So yeah, we're excited to go back. We went this year, and we thought we were prepared, and we were not.
You can't be
So
prepared
yeah,
unless you go.
yeah,
Bring comfortable shoes.
do
We
you-
walked 30 miles in 3 days,
yeah.
and that's not an exaggeration.
No,
Oh,
it was
damn.
like 37. I think it was 37 final miles is what we walked. Yeah.
You guys gonna do anything big for the show? You able to share anything?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, we're still in our planning stages, but I mean, we're Freight Ninja has got a booth in one of the main halls. It is right near one of the entrances. So like we're going to be right there, and we're going to set up a podcast studio there at their booth. You know, going to do live shows from there and stuff. And Hunter and I have made some incredible connections this year. One of them being a guy that we're developing a friendship with, Brandon Carpenter. He was on our show a few weeks ago, and he owns a thing called a trailer bar, which is this cool little hangout spot that, you know, only the cool kids know about. But he's adding a deck onto it. So we're thinking about doing some type of live content from that. And Tony Justice, you know, he is going to be the headlining act this year at Matt. So we're going to get in Tony's ear and see if maybe we could do something with Tony for the night of the concert. And I'm pretty sure Van with Bull Snot, shout out to Bull Snot and all their line of products too. Sorry, Matt. I'm just giving plugs to all my friends. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Send the invoice to that
Plug 'em
ticket.
away.
That's what we do, bro. That's what it's about, homie. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Van will probably be sponsoring that because him and Tony are really good friends. So we have tons of ideas. So and pretty much all of them will probably happen. So yeah, it's gonna be big, bro. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Everywhere we
How
go,
far is
we
that
have a good time.
That's sweet.
How
Hell
far
yeah.
is it from Nashville, Louisville to Nashville?
What was it,
Like-
Hunter? A 3-hour drive? or
2
something?
hours if you drive
Yeah,
proper.
It's
like
fucking
2.5 or
proper.
so.
No, like 3
2.5.
hours if you drive fucking proper. This guy, I'm renting a car next time I come up there.
2
I'm
hours.
driving your fucking ass. You give me anxiety. Yeah,
Man,
deal
I
with
still
that
got
shit.
that Atlanta driver in me, man.
Oh,
I drive
forget
aggressive.
that.
There's
You
too many
got-
idiots on the road.
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what you got. You know what you got. You got that. I got progressive insurance driver in you. That's what you got. I don't know what it is, boy. People with progressive insurance, they're the worst drivers out there, man.
Oh gosh, I got progressive.
But there you go. We all know. Don't get in a car with Josh now.
You need it in Nashville, man. They call it Crashville for a reason. We got the worst
Okay.
drivers in the country.
Worse than Florida? Nobody's got worse drivers than Florida.
Dude, Tennessee's the worst. Like, I've been all over, and it's just, I don't know. Yeah, it's like cautionary driving, but, you know, if like someone's broke down on the side of the road, everybody's stopping and looking.
They all stop.
Just, yeah. It's not good. So you got a lot of like
and then
going over a
people-
hill and you like freaking just end up on bumper to bumper traffic. Freaking, it's got to be careful, man. Got to be careful.
Yeah, could be better here.
So what do you guys think, since we got, you know, two podcasters? Josh has got a YouTube channel. Obviously, I do a podcast too. What do you guys think in the future of content's going? It's been kind of cool. I feel like I've seen more and more people, you know, getting active, whether it be on X or more and more podcasts starting the last 6 months, more companies doing content on TikTok. Where do you guys think the future of content and logistics is?
Hunter, I'll take this. Ha ha ha. Good try, Matt. We're not giving you away our secret. Good try. No.
Oh man. No, I mean, I'll talk a little bit. I think we're just going to continue to see more and more of it. It's been cool to see a lot of the shows pop up this year. You know, I kind of live within the sales space. I think you're only going to see more salespeople posting a lot more content, because I think personally, content is a sales activity. You have to look at it that way, right? And you know, even with like my business, you know, I can post a piece of content or something, and people that I've followed up with or haven't heard from, or you know, even some customers and so it's just like it's the little notifier, and just to get back kind of in front of people, that works really effectively. And you know, I guess like with marketing in general, it's sales at scale, so you just never really know who's watching it. I think a lot of people overestimate, you know, even if you get 50 to 100 views, you know, and if you put 50 people in a room, that's a lot. That's obviously a lot of people that you're pitching in front of. And, you know, a lot of our LinkedIn posts, probably all 4 of us in here, probably, you know, around like 1,000 or more than 1,000 impressions. So you can underestimate that. But and it's cool. Like, I mean, even Shannon from Freight Vana, they just acquired Loadsmith, and they had the release of everything on Andrew Silver's podcast on the Freight Pod. So I think that's unique, because normally you'd see that stuff on the FreightWaves article, and that's typically where that stuff's going to come out. But you're probably going to see, I would say, more of that kind of stuff happen, where people are maybe breaking some more news on the actual shows and the podcasts and stuff. And so, Matt, like, you guys may get it with, Two Dogs, and Pedro, you and Hunter will probably get it as well on the Logistics Lounge. I don't know if it'll be like acquisitions, but I'm sure there will be some stuff that, people are releasing products or services. Like, who knows? I mean, there's so many different cool things that you can do with content, and so we'll see.
Yeah, I think it just validates you a bit more. Like that was Pedro and I's initial thought process behind starting the lounge. Like, kind of newer into the brokering industry, freight industry, and just talking about it. I mean, you can learn so much from it. Like you were talking about, Josh. Like, you can go on FreightWaves and read something, but it's a lot more engaging when you have bright minds in this industry that come together and actually talk about these subjects, talk about these topics. Bringing in real life information rather than just one person typing up an article. But yeah, I mean, shit, it really is like such a great sales tool. If you are a salesperson, like, I'd rather work with someone that I can see in their natural environment, talking how they operate, like, rather than get a cold email, cold call, like, which we still have to do that. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many ways to leverage yourself just by putting yourself out there, and it's uncomfortable. I mean, like that first show, the first few months, it's like Pedro and I were talking, like, what in the hell are we doing right now? But we were having fun with it, and we just stuck with it. Nobody said stop, and even if they would have said stop, we wouldn't have stopped. We were just like taking a step back, like we did, and made some changes and just keep improving. So,
did you guys have any goals starting off? Like, did you want to get to a specific number of shows, followers, or were we just like, hey, we're just going to do this?
Just do it. Our first show was about space freight. It was when India landed on the South Pole of the moon, and we're like, who's going to be the first space freight broker? Turned out to be Elon Musk, come to find out. Delivering a load to the International Space Station. But yeah, I mean, it's just click, record, click, go live, and just keep going with it. Because, you do see a lot of new shows come out and then just kind of dwindle away. But, it is good. It is beneficial. And especially like you were talking about, with companies doing that is very interesting. Like there's no news outlet for, we don't have like CNN or Fox for freight. So like, you just got to make it yourself. Whatever you want to put out there. If you have something to say, like, get out there and say it. Nobody's going to you're not going to get fired over this. Like, I mean, you might if you work for some corporations, but I think it's more beneficial than anything else. So
it's kind of interesting. I feel like we do kind of somehow have like kind of somewhat news in that sense. Like, I remember there's a lot of talks about when the market was switching, and FreightWaves and Jason Miller, who's like big, had total different ideas, and we're just going after what the real news is and what the market is. So, I mean, it's not like CNN, MSNBC, Fox, that kind of news, but it is funny sometimes that people obviously report the news a little bit differently. But
yeah, you see the different entities, the different sides of life, like the driver shortage situation. Like, that is one of my favorite things of all time. Like, I don't think the driver shortage exists, but some people will die on that hill all day long, and it is hilarious
because they're misinformed. We'll have Jason Miller. Jason Miller is coming on our show next week. Next week. It is next week.
Nice.
Yeah, him and Steve Bocelli.
I saw him on, he does a panel with, I think it's him, Ken Adamo, Samantha Jones. She has like 4 people on and talk about the market every 6 months. It's a pretty popular market update. But yeah, smart guy.
I want to get that guy Ken on, just because like he fucking seems funny, dude. that guy, bro, he trolls his trollers, and it absolutely cracks me up, man. I want to reach out to him, see if we can get him on the show. Like, I would like to talk to him.
Are you talking about Ken?
Yeah,
yeah. Ken, we had him on. He was a fun guest to have on. I don't think some of the carriers listening always agreed with him, but he's one of the only people I know who will like respond to everyone on Twitter. You're not on X.
Yeah,
Josh,
dude. I was looking him up. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you should see
He
some of
goes
his
the battles, man.
responses. It's pretty great when the truckers are saying, "Well, it's going to be has to be 70% margins," and he'll talk about like some data, and they'll go back and forth.
Oh gosh, yeah. Good for him for putting himself out there though and doing that. You know, because obviously DAT is one of those companies that a lot of people are always going to go after no matter what, and on all sides.
Yeah, Ken's
I'd
great.
hate to be that social media person when it goes down.
Oh gosh,
that is everybody's favorite time to post. You see people coming out of the woodworks 4 months later, just DAT's down, fuck them, and then getting truck stop involved, dude. It's a wild time. I love it though.
Truck
Like,
Stop does a good job of that.
That's what creates solutions though. Like you can't just let that go idle when people are coming at your throats.
Truck Stop social media is great. I think they win social media. Some of their memes and stuff are pretty funny.
Yeah, they got one of the best.
Well, I don't have a whole lot else, guys. I mean, we appreciate you guys, joining us and having us on, and plug to the Logistics Lounge. When do you guys do your shows? Now it's every Friday, and then you guys are doing a show on Tuesday too, or you guys they can check out your page for live shows. But you guys do what, twice a week?
Yeah, Wednesdays and Fridays, starting at 4 p.m. Central Time ish, and then Mondays we have John Cantera with Stop the Scam. That's under the Lounge Media Group. So yeah, those are when our shows are. We do pop-up shows every now and then, but you can go to logisticsloungeshow.com to check out all of our resources. Check out the homies page, check out our merch page where you can get one of those sweet hats like Pedro has. You got spill kits from Spill Bully on there. We need some more traffic over there. So logisticsloungeshow.com.
Very cool. Well, shout out to you guys. Thanks again for joining us. And I'm sure we'll talk again, but I'm sure I'll see you guys in person again at the Broker Carrier Summit. It was a lot of fun meeting you guys face to face.
Absolutely, man. Try to make it to Matt's.
Yeah.
All right. I'll think about it. Maybe Josh, you should go. You're 2 hours from there.
Yeah, it's not far.
Yeah, Josh, you should roll up there, man.
It's a safe 2 hour drive, so we'll probably have to make it happen.
Dude, it will be like 3 days you will never forget, especially when it's your first time. Oh, dude, it is next level.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out because I had heard about it last year. I think I had looked it up, but it was like a week in advance, and I can't remember if we had some other stuff going on. But yeah, that one looks more unique compared to a lot of the other conferences.
It is.
And most of the ones that I go to,
it's free or it's not very expensive.
It is free, and it is so fucking fun, dude. It is so
Matt, you
fun.
can actually get a media pass. You can get a media pass, man. We'll hook you up with the contacts there. But yeah, dude, you can show up the day before the show starts, and then they have like a media room where you get breakfast, lunch, you have drinks in there, they have podcast booths, they have the internet, and all the hookups, couches. You can go in there and hang out. And so it's well worth it. Like badass trucks as far as the eye can see. Last year they had like a tractor pool, some monster trucks, I think. But yeah, it's a good time.
Well, maybe we'll come out. I'll fly into Nashville. Will can drive up from Birmingham, and we'll all go from Nashville together.
Yeah, let's do it, man. It'd be a good time.
That'd be fun. We should do that.
Well, thanks again, Pedro. Thanks again, Hunter, and we'll talk soon.
Have a good one, guys.
Good hanging, guys.
Hey, you too, man.
All right. Well, that does it, Josh, for wrap up for your first show as a co-host. How'd it go?
It was good, man. I mean, just casual talk, It's good hanging out with those guys. And I've met Hunter a couple of times, haven't met Pedro. So I've seen their show pop up on LinkedIn and whatnot. But yeah, I'm excited to, see kind of who else we have on the show throughout this month whenever I can hop on and co-host with you and go from there. But all good stuff.
Good stuff. Well, shout out again to our sponsors, Multi-Service Fuel Card. Been around since 1978. Hit up Jessica, Patricia, great people. They have family members that are truck drivers too, so they really understand. Great discounts. We've had drivers on the show who use them. Black Box, where Will works, Will's company, HD, where I recruit freight agents. If you're looking to be a freight agent, hit me up on LinkedIn. Load Base, Stan the Man, Will and I like to call him. Previous dispatcher, him and his partner built a great product for tracking. We go to his website, demo it. He's really not he's not like a stereotypical salesperson. He's very consultative, wants to help. Yeah, definitely if you're looking into tracking, go talk to Loadbase. Josh, you want to touch on, I feel weird if I talk about your company. So you want to touch on yours?
I'll just say we're a sponsor, man. Sales-CRM, sales-crm.com. Grateful to be a sponsor.
Sounds good. And our banner sponsor, TAF's, been around for a while. The top 10 company based in Kansas. Ryan, Rob, all those guys, great people. If you're looking to factor, we're even having issues with your current factoring company. I want to take a look at a different one. Highly recommend, giving TAF's a shout. And that does it for the show. We'll be back next week. I will shoot you a message, Josh. I know you have some ideas for some guests too, and we haven't lined anything up for really the rest of the month. So yeah, well, I know you have some good ideas, so I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah, try to get some good people up here and see if we can get some unique people that may not hop on podcasts as much.
Let's do it. Well, that does it for episode 34, 35, whatever it is.
Damn, 35.
We'll talk soon, Josh. Thanks.
Thanks, Matt. See you guys.